Throughout my journey of running during the winter, I have learned some lessons the hard way. So to save yourself, I'm going to share with you a couple practical lessons from things that I've learned to hopefully make this whole cold weather winter running experience just a little bit better for you. I just got here to the park. Today on our training plan, we're supposed to be running 5 miles easy. An easy pace to me is supposed to be anywhere from 9 minutes to 9 minutes 15 seconds. So that's our plan. Lesson number 1 before we get out there is just understand that at the end of the day, cold is cold. There really is no difference between 30 degrees and 20 degrees or 15 degrees. None of that is t-shirt weather. None of that you're gonna be running without a shirt. It's just all freaking miserable. And I mean that in honestly the best way, because if you can just understand that it's all cold, it all sucks, it'll really stop you from looking so closely at the weather and letting that determine how you feel or what you do. Because it is easy to look at your phone and see that it says, 20 degrees, but it feels like 5 degrees with wind chill. And then you start getting nervous, you start delaying your run, you start overthinking. Excuse me. You start overthinking because that was super unprofessional. I'm sorry about that. I did just have an Americano 30 minutes ago, so we're still working through that. It does start to mentally chip away at your mindset for the run because you start making it more difficult than it is. Is it really that bad? No. I mean, I'm saying that from somebody who hates the cold. Eventually, you are going to break a sweat. Your body is going to get warmed up, and as long as you have the proper attire, you're going to get through it. So stop looking at the weather. Stop overthinking it. Just realize that cold is cold. My second lesson, and sadly this one learned the hard way, was you do need to think about what you're going to wear before you run. You need to actually plan your outfit. And a couple things here. I just made a video about what I wear when I run, so you can watch that video. I'll link it down below. But honestly, just to cover some of the bases here, the most important things are going to be gloves, because that will keep your hands warm. These you can use your phone with. They have little things on the finger here that you can use your devices with, which is really nice if you're trying to change music, put on a podcast. I love these gloves. The brand is, I don't even know, because I can't read whatever that says. It's a foreign brand, I'm sorry. But anyway, you could find these gloves anywhere. Balaclava, another really important thing, which we're gonna put on right now. And the balaclava is really nice because not only will it keep you warm, but I tuck this in right here. Excuse me for a second. Not only do you look cool, but I tuck this in to my hoodie, and my hoodie actually has a little bit of an extended neck here, which I didn't realize would be so nice. I did not buy this for running, but I tuck it in like that, and then obviously you can pull it up like this. To keep this part in place up top here, I still do put my hat back on. I don't know if that's 2025 fashion, but I'm still putting that bad boy on. And usually, like I said, I will run with it like this for probably the first 2 miles. But after a while, when you're breathing in this, as gross as it sounds, your air has moisture in it, and it's gonna get this wet. And then it's gonna feel wet against your mouth and your beard, and it becomes a little gross. So I do like to pull this down because as you're breathing, it does warm up this whole area, which feels really good, but eventually you're going to want to take this off. I'll usually wear my hood up as well, but I will take that down at some point because I do get warm, believe it or not, which I said earlier, you will actually get warm. But keep your layers thin. I have a Gymshark thin shirt, long sleeve underneath this as like a tight base layer, and then I just put on a thin hoodie. I have some tights on. Tights, is that the best way of putting it? I don't want to be caught telling people I'm wearing tights, but I'm wearing tights, I guess. And then I just wear my regular socks, my running shoes, and I put a pair of shorts over the tights because I put gels or key fobs and stuff like that. So when I didn't plan my outfits, what happened was I got here wearing a ton. Well, actually what happened the first time was I got here not wearing enough. And I ran my 4 or 5 miles and I was really cold and miserable. Like my hands hurt the whole time. And then the next time I overplanned and I wore way too much. I had to stop in the middle of my run and take off layers, and it was just a waste of time. Like in the summertime, you would never stop to adjust your wardrobe. So it sucks that that had to happen during a winter training run as I'm in the middle of marathon prep. But that's one of those things you actually have to plan for. Oh, I think I've been delaying this long enough. I think I would literally rather start and make an entire YouTube video on the spot than have to go out there and run in the cold. But it's gotta happen. If we wanna hit our goals, it's gotta happen. So let's get our 5-mile run going here. All right, 2 miles in, staying right around that 9-minute pace. So nice and easy. Parts of us are sweating, parts of us are still pretty cold. So hopefully the next mile we will warm up. All right, mile 3 done. 9:09 for that mile. Definitely starting to feel better. The last thing that was cold was my fingertips, and those feel good. So 2 miles to go. Our watch is gonna beep here. Yep, there it is. Just hit 5 miles. Let's stop that right there. Good, 5 miles done. Not too bad. Definitely feeling around the hips a little bit. I feel like my hips are, oops, sorry, covering the lens there. I feel like my hips are sore. Some of that from lifting weights. We're working through that upper lower split right now. And then some of that from running 7 miles a couple days ago. So glad to have that done. All right, so 5 miles completed here. We're at 45 minutes and then averaging 9 minutes, 2 seconds per mile. Not too bad. Like I said, my hips were getting a little bit sore, and sorry if the wind is getting in the way, but overall pretty happy with that effort for where we're for the conditions that we're running in. That kind of leads me to my last lesson here. The final one you need to learn about winter running is you need to adjust your expectations. I don't know if I said, but I'm testing out this 16mm lens, so we'll see if I can walk and talk with this, or if we're gonna get the Canon wobble. But anyway, when it comes to that final lesson, one of the most important things is realize that just like if you were running in the summer or in humidity, it's gonna be harder. You're gonna have to slow down, your heart rate's gonna be moving faster. It's no different from these conditions here. You're gonna have to change things a little bit because first of all, the ground is really slick. There's a lot of ice in certain areas, and if you're running really fast, and obviously running the opposite of walking, is it the opposite of walking? How about this? Running the opposite of running backwards. When you're running, you're gonna be putting 1 foot on the ground at a time, obviously. And if you're walking, like you know how they speed walk and you're not supposed to pick up both feet at any point? I can't believe I'm having a hard time explaining what walking is. This is crazy. All right, refocusing. Walking, obviously you're gonna have both feet on the ground at the same time. And then when it comes to running, only one. So if you're extending your leg way out in front of you, it means you're putting all your body weight on 1 foot. And if that 1 foot is on top of ice, then you might take a tumble. And if you do, you're gonna crack your hip or your elbow or something and end your run early. So just kind of be mindful of your expectations going into that run, that things may need to change just a little bit. And the last thing to realize as a part of adjusting your expectations, if you haven't spent any time running outside, it's just gonna feel different. You're just gonna have to go through the highs and the lows of dealing with that process. But hopefully by watching this video, if you have never done that before, or you have and it's been a while, that you can just apply the lessons that I've learned so that you don't make the same mistakes that I make, and you can learn from some of these lessons a little bit quicker, so you don't have to go through the motions of dealing with the highs and the lows of running when it is 10 degrees outside. Like I said, I hope these lessons helped you. I really hope that the winter does not hold you back from achieving your goals. I really think you can make progress even in the winter, and hopefully in the springtime, instead of shaking off rust from a winter of eating and sitting and not doing as much, by the springtime you'll feel amazing and ready to start running and hit your goals. And that's what I'm hoping. I don't want to have to shake off rust. I want to go out there and just go for it. So I'm gonna go home and get hot coffee and a very concerningly hot shower. I'll see you guys in the next video.